What is up, friends? Welcome to the Video Game Music Alliance. This is the live composing show. My name is Steven Melin, and I'm pumped to have you here with us today. I can't believe it's already been a week since our last stream. I feel like the last week just flew by. It's kind of crazy. And obviously, today's Wednesday. It's not Thursday like we normally do for our streams, and that's because, go ahead and set your calendars for tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be doing a live listening party for all of our pro member participants who we're doing a Zelda. Wow, I've never said Zelda like that. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the new game coming for Switch in a couple weeks. That sucker, we're doing a rescoring competition. Not a competition, but a my gosh, what is going on, guys? I can't make a sentence around here. Maybe I haven't had enough coffee yet. By the way, have you seen our new coffee mugs? They're pretty awesome. Anyway, focus, Steven, focus. We have a Zelda listening party tomorrow. Don't miss that. That's going to be a ton of fun for all the members that participated in that composing challenge. There we go, where we did a rescore of some footage from Zelda. Really pumped about that, to hear all the different members and their work. So that'll be tomorrow at our normal time at 12 p.m. But for today, we are doing another trailer track, a brand new trailer track, an epic orchestral, over-the-top, super fun trailer track. And today we are featuring two libraries from our friends at Heavyocity. Those who do not know, VGMA, Video Game Music Alliance, we have partnerships with 11, 12 maybe at this point, different sample library companies, which is super cool. Now, by partnership, what that means is pro members inside of our group, they have access to exclusive discounts. Hello, camera. Come back. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Exclusive discounts, and it ranges from 15 to 50% off. And that is just for our members. They're exclusive discounts. These are not given to other people, other groups, and it's super exciting. And Heavyocity is one of our premier partners there. I love Heavyocity. I love what they stand for. I love their libraries. I use them all the time. And I'm really pumped today that we get to talk about two libraries that are brand new to me. They're not new, but they're new to me. And they were highly recommended to use. Actually, I have two mentors right now. I always suggest you guys have mentors in your careers. I have two career mentors right now. One of them has specifically suggested these two libraries. Forzo, which is a powerful brass ensemble library from Heavyocity, and another one is Damage 2. And we're going to be focusing on both of those today, utilizing them a ton inside of our track. And these two libraries were recommended to me as like staples for this big epic trailer sound. And I was shocked that I didn't have them already, because I use Heavyocity quite a bit, especially Gravity. That's a big one. It's a synth engine. The original Damage I use all the time. So I'm really pumped to dive into Damage 2, which seems to be a lot of a cleaner interface. And then Forzo, this massive brass ensemble. And I just learned today, I can't believe I didn't know this. I should have put all the puzzle pieces together. But our friend, game composer Jason Graves, he's a friend of the show. A friend of our team, Video Game Music Alliance. And by the way, we're doing an interview with him. Not an interview, but a conversation with him, a Q&A with him, with our members in 2 months, 1 month, something like that, sometime in the next 6 weeks. I'll have to look at the calendar. But those of you inside VGMA, you know what I'm talking about, because we have a whole events page, and there's like 12 events on there already. It's crazy. So those of you who are inside the group, make sure you RSVP to that one. I love Jason. He's a fabulous human being. And I had no idea he was part of the team that created Forzo, which now makes a ton of sense because I've seen Jason do reviews and like showcases of other Heavyocity products, and it makes perfect sense because he's a drummer, and Damage 2 is something that he has featured a lot. So that's just super cool. I just found that out today, and I'm just kind of blown away because I keep finding out that composers are doing other things in the music industry, and I shouldn't be surprised. I've had my hand in a lot of arenas in the music industry, but I just think it's cool. Musicians and composers particularly tend to be incredibly creative people, and I love when they kind of venture out and try new things. And so I'm just extra excited to use Forzo today for multiple reasons. But so let's do a quick product showcase, and then we'll actually write some music, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, Chew. Chew in the chat says, ooh, Forza. Forzo. Yeah. Not the game, Forza. Forzo. Yeah. So anyone familiar with like the Braum sound, that sound? That is one of the seminal sounds that Forzo creates. But let me just let's catch everyone up. If you haven't heard of this product, first and foremost, you really might want to consider this as an orchestral composer because it is one of the coolest brass libraries out there, and I'm shocked that I don't have it. I would consider the only two real competitors to Forzo would be Cinebrass from Cinesamples and Tom Holkenberg Brass from Orchestral Tools. And all three of these sound quite different, and I think they have a lot of different uses. And maybe a fourth, it's hardly competition, but a fourth, a very different, like the classical orchestral sound, I would say 8DO, the new Century Ensemble Brass, is one that I've used for years. But honestly, that one just in a cinematic style, in a big trailer style, it doesn't work. It's too quiet. It's too soft. But I'm finding Forzo to kind of be this very specific lane of epic music. It really works for epic and trailer styles, which as game composers, it's made by a game composer. So it's used a lot in games too. So anyway, for those unaware, Forzo, this is a powerhouse brass library. And it's also just gorgeous to look at and to play with. And all of Heavyocity's context libraries are gorgeous and very, very intuitive and beautiful. I won't bore you with a walkthrough and stuff. You can look up all of that. But the main things you need to know is essentially it's an ensemble patch, but it's also split up by instrument groups. But it's not just an orchestral library. It also is basically a synth engine made from brass patches. And I just have to show you because it's just super fascinating. Either you watch the videos, listen to the demos, or maybe that's why you're here today. You just want to kind of see what this is all about. So let me open up a blank patch and let me show you. So over here, I use Contact for almost everything. Forzo is right here, and there are two folders. You have Traditional, which is what many of you might use. And in Traditional, you have horns. You have muted horns, trumpets, tenor trombones, bass, contra trombones, tubas, and a full ensemble that just combines them all together. Realistically, I will probably never use anything but the horns from Tom Holkenberg. And I'll just, do a shootout. Hey, this is why I do reviews, because you guys want my opinion. You want my honest opinion. You don't want me to sugarcoat it. But the horns patch for Forzo sounds quite good. But to my ears, nothing sounds more realistic and bombastic than horns from Orchestral Tools, which is this guy right here. Same horns, by the way, 12 horn ensemble. There's no comparison to me. One is clearly the winner. So I don't see myself using these individual patches because I do think one-to-one comparing them. Tom Holkenberg Brass by Orchestral Tools just wins, period, on the quality, on the legatos, on the power, if we're going for the powerful sound, which is why I would use something like this. So check that box. Sorry, out. So what's left? Well, we have this full ensemble patch. What is this like? This I like a lot, and I will be using this a lot. This is the Forzo Brass Ensemble right here. Full ensemble is, VI stands for 6, Roman numeral 6. Now, already you'll notice it's way quieter. It's not as loud of a sound, and that's probably because, it has all these mic positions we can play with. So realistically, if I take myself off the screen, you might want to go over here and play with some of this. So already, not as powerful, don't like it as much, but really the utility of having all of these different patches right here. I think their short notes are way better, and the key switch side of things, where you can just jump back and forth. I think that's incredible. That's really, really good. And also the fact that they have crescendos, swells, brams, and crescendos, crescendo bends, like these techniques, these effects are what I think make it stand out. So crescendo, check this out. That's so useful. Right? Swells. And you can also move the mod wheel and it changes this whole giant circle in the middle. That's super useful. Probably the most well-known sound of all time in trailer music. That is unbeatable. And I like that it's not a forced fake sound. This is literally just a full ensemble. So it's the tubas, the contra trombones, the bass trombones, the tenor trombones. Naturally. Very, very useful. Big fan of that. That's cool too for trailer music. These crazy bends. I don't have any other libraries that do that. Cool. That is so useful. So the other patch that I'm actually way more excited about, and I'll just go ahead and save this. We'll call this brass ensemble bends. Let's make another instance real quick. And this one is going to be, I don't really know what to call it, brass synth, maybe? This, to me, is why people would really want this for trailers. Over here in the evolved section, we have a brass designer and a brass loop designer. To me, this is the shining moment. You don't really use this for its natural sound, but this is so cool. So they've created all of these preset patches that are basically synths made from the brass patches, the wave files. And what they've done is they have mixed them together, they've panned them, and then now when you move the mod wheel, it morphs between the three. And you can see these little modules here, panning, panning, panning. Notice how they're all moving. Probably hard to see because it's pretty small on the screen, but they're all moving in different ways. And there's this whole twist function. So it has like modernized the orchestral brass section. And now we get these crazy patches. That is so useful. It's more for textures that still give that orchestral sound, but right, and you can mix and match these however you want, and they have a bunch of presets. So in my mind, I'm probably going to land in the organic side of things, or the effects and textures. There's just so many cool ones here. It's like monsters bashing. Notice how it's ensemble staccato. Bass trombone staccato, horn staccato. And if you want to compress, they have this punish button, which is in every single Heavyocity library. You can just destroy any sound. Which is totally unnecessary most of the time, but there we go. I mean, there's just a ton of things in here. Ambient is also really cool. I haven't played with all these yet. I think we're stuck on an autosave. There we go. Ambient, the distant voices. That sounds cool. So it's like a pad. Really cool stuff here. Rhythmic could also be really nice. It's basically a bass synth, but it's coming from brass. I can see this in like a video game battle track, easy. I can see why Jason really likes this. This is very much his style. Right. Really cool stuff. I could just play around with this for hours, but I won't. Here's some in effects. Cool. How cool is that? You can make a whole trailer on that. I mean, come on, that sounds like Dead Space. Sounds like strings. Like, that is so much cooler to me than any of the orchestral normal sounds. So fun. Like, why stick with a traditional riser in trailer music when you could do something like this? Right? I'm just playing with the mod wheel and the pitch bend, whatever. There's so many cool textures. Like, this would be great for video game scoring too. This would also be really cool for like big stingers in the middle of the track. Like just textures, right? Man, that's fun. That's what I think this library shines. That's what I'll be leaning more into. They also have loop combos. I don't know how useful this will be, but might be worth exploring. This means it continues. What it's doing is it's shortcutting a lot of the work that we do in this style, which is blending brass, orchestral brass, with synths. It just like it shortcuts a lot of that, and it creates these really inspiring sounds. Now, this is not the only layer I would use. I would also throw synths, or I'd also throw orchestral brass on top, which you could use the same library or something like Cinebrass or Tom Holkenberg brass, whatever. But the idea is this just opens up a lot of cool possibilities. I'm excited to try that out in our track today. The other library we're showcasing is Damage 2. I've always been a fan of Damage, the first one. This one just seems a lot more organized, which is nice. It's just one patch, but what happens is you have all these different subcategories where it divides up all the different instruments. Things like monster ensembles, organic ensembles, toms. It's everything you come to expect for epic music. Your toms, grand casas, snares, ethnic things. But for me, I mean, and obviously, like, they're also known for their destroyed sounding, like, dumpsters and metals and that kind of thing. I'm not as interested in that personally, but I love the original Armageddon ensemble. Is always one of my go-tos from Damage 1. But this is one patch. graves as well. Taiko. And that's just one patch. This stuff is just wild. So useful at so many levels. I mean, I could just pick on these all day. Let's just try like another monster ensemble like this one. So many different timbres and textures that all work well together. Just so you can see the interface. So nice. And this is not the end-all be-all for percussion, but this is a fantastic place to start for a more organic sound. I think probably the most interesting part about this whole thing, I'll go back to my favorite, Armageddon Ensemble. What I think is so interesting is they have these fills programmed. That's new and that's different. Most sample libraries, you have a singular hit like this. So every time you hit it, it plays exactly as you expect. But they've now introduced these. Let me find one. Like that, it's a flam. It actually plays slightly after when I hit the note. So makes it extra organic sounding. There's some more in here with like the snares, like this one. Right, it's a snare roll, but also has a flam. Instead of so instead of just playing one note, it actually works better than it should. I typically play multiple notes. Right. So useful, and it's so clearly. These are programmed by musicians. They just are. These are people who play these things. Super playable. So always been a big fan of Damage, and I'm pumped to have Damage 2 now in the arsenal. I'm curious how I'm going to use it. I have no idea. Following up from last week, we did a trailer track and started a trailer track. Did not quite finish it. That's when we were talking about Hans Zimmer percussion by Spitfire. But for today's purposes, focusing on Heavyocity, I thought it'd be cool to start a new track. And I want to focus more on mixing an orchestral sound with a synthy, almost outer spacey vibe. I kept my picture from last week because I just loved it so much. It's so inspiring to me and just kind of creates all these different sounds and emotions. Like, it's so epic, it's so large, and it's like a movie trailer, right? It's this big cinematic thing. So as we're continuing to work on trailer tracks, essentially this month, let's just try something. So right before the stream, I wrote this little solo violin line, which I like and I think is so simple, which is the point of this type of music. It's so simple that there's so many directions I can go with it. I originally thought this was going to be a uplifting track. I literally called, you can see it up here, I called this track Soar, like flying. I called it Soar before I actually wrote a note. And I was thinking like this, which like a C major 7 chord, which you can do lots of major chords on. Right? It's like, that could be really uplifting. That kind of thing. But what's funny is when I started playing it like this, I like condensed it down to 3 notes. But now it's in A minor. And then my brain just, did its thing, and then I ended up with this instead. And now it's a lot more epic. And now you start putting some E minors in there, minor 5s. F major 7. Put some E7s in there. Now it's extra epic. Now it's a trailer track. Right? Like, we could just fly from there. And maybe the soaring is that style instead. So that's kind of the direction I want to go. And I just kind of let my brain go that direction until this is horribly unpolished. I mean, I literally just did this right before starting, but I put this together. This is kind of like where I want to go with the idea. Yeah, so I want to say an A minor, but I want to really harp on that sharp 7. And for the first time ever, I've never written a piece of music that uses a diminished 2. I've always wanted to. I feel like this is the moment. I don't know if I want to do G. Like, I feel like I have to do the harmonic. There's so many directions you could go. You can even go back to the F. Lots we could go. But I think my favorite chord progression in this is an A minor, a B diminished, F, and then the 5 minor suspended. 1, 1, 2, 4, and then 5 with the 7. So, Sarah, great question. And by the way, welcome so many people. We have Jew, Marie, Matt, Ethan, Micah, all the friends, all the usual suspects. Martin, glad you're here, Martin. Jordan, Casey. I've been sort of reading your comments. I'm trying. also trying to talk and stuff, so it's a little more challenging. Great question. I like that question. So Sarah asks, do I typically think of a chord progression before playing them, or kind of just let it flow naturally? I think just having played piano for so long now, over 2 decades at least. Gosh, I've been playing piano for like 26 years, 7, 8 years. I don't even know how long anymore. I just have patterns in my hands, right? Like I'm going to gravitate. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking chords and then melodies that fit on top. But I am, for this purpose, I'm telling you, I've never written a piece of music that's used a diminished 2 chord in the minor. And I'm really curious if I can make it sound good. Oh, you young people. Yeah, right, I'm still young. I'm in my 30s. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write in some chords just so I have some structure. And this is what I'm learning more and more as I do get into more like high-end trailer music, that the more organized you can be from the beginning, you save so much time. Even just simple things like writing down the chords, writing down like when the acts are, the 3-act structure, it helps so much. Okay, so for here, we're A minor. Anyone who wants to take notes. This is my first time using this chord progression, so we'll see how successful it actually is. I definitely want to be in 4/4 time. I've learned that trying to write in 3/4 or 6/4 or 5/4 or 7/4, anything that's not 4/4, has a tendency to fall flat in the energy department, and it gets rejected. It's just, and I'm writing these actively for a trailer label, which is cool, which means it could easily land on a video game as well as a blockbuster movie. It just depends on the context and what they want to use it for. But this is like super duper high end stuff. Probably the coolest opportunity I've ever had in my career. I'm very excited about it. Very, very small, close-knit community there. So I'm trying to make sure I'm presenting at the absolute highest level. But with that in mind, I have to write music that structurally works and is not so out there. So 4/4 time, a fast tempo. I'm at 164 BPM today. Has to be an exact time limit. It has to be very clear breaks between sections, very clear rises of energy between sections, very dramatic from beginning to end. So there's just a list of criteria I have to meet. And as a composer, I love that. I love the limitations. What's up, Arfo? Welcome. So I hope this is helpful. So here we go. The main event here, Act 3. Yeah, let's just write it in. This is a B diminished. I'm not sure I've ever played a B diminished chord in my career. Thousands of pieces of music. I've never leaned into the diminished 2, and I'm very excited about that today. Let me find my chords here. So we're doing A minor, B diminished, F. It's so simple. I mean, it's just triads, right? But that's the kind of music that sells really well. Not to call it basic, but it's simple. But the production makes up for it. I don't know if I want that to be major or minor. So I think it just has to be an E. It can be a suspended. So let's do E suspended into E. As much as my creativity is like, the game composer within me is like, no, you have to be interesting, but there's a reason that these cliches exist, because they really do work on an emotional level. That's what I'll do. Just to kind of keep it interesting, I'll use inversions instead. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being young. You get a head start on everybody else that can teach you stuff. All right. This is why I seek out mentors who are 10, 15, 20, 30 years older than me. I need wisdom from people who have been doing this a long time and who understand on a very different level than I do. In the same way that I can pour into people in their 20s and their teens, because I've been there, done that. I can pour into first-time parents because I have 5. I know something. I don't know everything, but that's what I want to do. So we'll keep this interesting and less repetitious by doing an E over G sharp, which is just first inversion E. Cool. And then we'll just repeat, rinse and repeat. Is that 2 times? And we'll do something with like triplets to kind of emphasize the ending. Cool. And my time codes are way off, by the way. One of the challenges with a faster tempo is you have to be more deliberate on, you have to actually write more music. Faster tempos. Okay, I want my act 3 to start right at the 2-minute mark, which is here. I have my time code somewhere. There it is. Now you can see it with me. There it is, right there, if you're watching. And I want 1 bar past 2 there. So act 3 needs to start right there. So based on the time code, we'll kind of hang on this for a minute. Hang on 5 chord. And then we'll have some kind of out structurally here. And then right at 2:30, we're going to have an act 4, which is just going to be just blow your face off intensity. And then let's get like a good 8 bars at least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we'll do the out from there. This is a brand new track, so I have to put some kind of markers in here to help me visually structure this thing. Out, 2, 3, 4. Here we need outro. Something like that. It's a pretty safe guess based on my time codes. And so my act 2, actually act 1 really needs to start around 20 seconds. Usually act 1 starts around 20 seconds, which for me is right about here. So I can go ahead and move some things. Act 2 needs to be somewhere around 1 minute, 1 minute 15, somewhere in there. So trying to take, the little bit of content I have written and slide it over. This is the stuff that if I don't do it now, I will fully regret not doing it later, or now versus later. So I'll put act 2. Act 2 should be about a minute long, 45 seconds long. So let's just put it there for now. I'll make sure that extends all the way up to act 3. There needs to be a break between 2 and 3. So we'll put out right there. Hopefully someone out there is following what the heck I'm doing. And if not, that's fine. Enjoy the chat. This is kind of the structural piece that is absolutely essential. So if this is act 2 here, we need to put an out right there. You should always have an out, like space between your sections in this style of music. So here's what I have so far. This is horribly incomplete, but this is the main idea for the day. And all I'm using here is the Joshua Bell violin by Embertone. By the way, Embertone, if you want this, Embertone, we have an exclusive partnership with them as well inside VGMA, so come check it out. And we literally have a partnership with almost every major player in this space. Embertone, 8Dio. Who else? We don't have one with native instruments, but that would be huge. Who else on my list? I mean, just so many. Drawing a blank, of course. Impact Soundworks, Sound Iron, So many. Check it out. Embertone was the point, though. Anyway, I'm using Joshua Bell. I'm using the spiccato. Never used the short articulations. They're quite good. And even though it's like, it's such a particular sound, I feel like that solo instrument will work really well because it's so small in nature, versus juxtaposed to this humongous ensemble with big choir and epic brass and all the things that we're doing today. So anyway, I put just a touch of reverb on there. Hall reverb, 2C Aether, that's it. I mean, it's like 30%. Not even, 16% of a hall verb. I'm trying to create repetition, expectations. That's a good spot for... That's the perfect spot, actually, for Act 1. And it's that none of that's produced, so that's way too repetitive at the moment, but I'm trying to structurally, arrangement-wise, do something interesting. So the thing about Forzo and Damage, two amazing libraries that we're going to lean into today, I can't use them yet because structurally, brass needs to be more like Act 2, really hit home, Act 3, and then like maximum punch, Act 4. I can't use them in Act 1. Like they're not appropriate yet. And same thing with percussion. Like I try not to use any brass or percussion as late as possible. I push that as far back as possible. Same thing goes for short strings, which is a staple of this style of music, which are ostinato strings. Right? That's such a staple of this style. Those should wait as long as possible as well. Typically don't even come in until Act 2, and then they stay until the very end. So once you add a layer, it must stay for the rest of the track. So you have to be very careful not to add too much too soon. Otherwise, your intensity level bumps from a 1 to a 5 way too soon. And you have to gradually go from a 1 to a 10 throughout the progress of the track, and then drop all the way back down to a 1 for the last. So whenever you look at the waveform of a trailer track like this, it should be absolutely minimal, and then a ramp, and then a ramp, and then a ramp, and then a ramp, all the way to the top, max amplitude, and then back down to a 1. Every trailer track looks the same. It's like, it's the structure that you must have. Anyway, back to the show. Oh yeah, wasn't I like singing a cello? Okay, so if I'm gonna use a solo violin, then it would make sense to also use a solo cello. That way, one of the ways that you can create a smaller intensity level is by using solo instruments, instead of focusing on ensembles. We'll get to ensembles in Act 2. Tina Guo, that's what I'm looking for. Robo Guo, as some of you like to say. If you're not careful, this can sound so robotic. So I like to just go to the raw mix and do it myself instead of dealing with all the presets. I like to have stereo width on and reverb on, which is on by default. Turn it so down. Actually, I don't know if I even want stereo width. So there it is without effects. I actually like it best without any effects. Where did they record this? It's just like swimming and maybe it's over here. Ah, there it is. Turn it off. It's like recorded in a bathroom. Honestly, it's probably recorded in Tina's studio. That actually makes perfect sense. By the way, did you guys know that Tina Guo is now like on the leadership team at Cinesamples? How cool is that? Speaking of famous musicians, like career change. How cool is that? I love that. I love watching the careers of my favorite composers and composers and performers. Like she's had a lucrative career as a cellist, as an erhu player, and as an electric cellist on major soundtracks with Hans Zimmer and friends. But now she's like straight up one of the heads of the company. So cool. Very cool. Anyway, so I'm going to keep the mono sound for now, but I want to do two things. First of all, let's actually, let's pan it. But I shouldn't, because it's not meant to be a cello. It's meant to be like a soloist instrument. So I'm feeling, though, let's just keep it centered. But let's just do the same orchestral reverb as the violin to give some sense of space. Aw, I've never been somebody's favorite composer before. That's nice. See if we can actually get this thing to sound good in this mix. So let's do a little bit of a deconstruction here. I'm a big fan of using rests in my melodies, especially like an offbeat, so not even coming into the and of one. Like really scalar melodies that like move. Like it's scalar, but what makes it interesting is when I do a big leap at the end. Especially, I'm always envisioning like a French horn, because that's the most powerful, I think, the most powerful instrument group in the orchestra. Right? Like that's just lifts the whole dang thing. So let's like lean into that. Even at this micro level, so how could I, if that's the final melody, right? How do I condense that to like 2 notes or 3 notes? That's the hardest part of this process. That's why I'm only doing 3 notes. Dun, 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 bum, bum, bum. Because there's so many more notes to come. Maybe like that. Keep the rest. So rest. So I'm having a hesitation to want to start the melody on a 1, because we're already on A minor and it's so tonic, so final. So I'm wondering if my melody should start on a 3 or a 5. To like start the conversation. No, let's keep going. I think that's cool. Did I already do that? Oh, okay. Now I see what's happening. I can see what's happening. What? And they don't have a clue. Pretty cool. Getting all frustrated with myself for no reason. It's okay. I don't have to get it right the first time. This is part of experimenting. Micah, what in the world? How are you a composer in 2023 without brass? Hey, that's cool. I respect that. Be different. It's way better than better. That's a cool stopping point, and I'll end it early. Not like abrupt, but like end the phrase one beat sooner than expected, just to kind of create some drama. I like that a whole lot better because it's clearly moving up, and if the track is called soar, it should be ascending, right? It should be going up. Let's do that, and we'll do quarter note. I'll quantize just the beginnings of notes. How did that get so off? Oh, no wonder, because they're not quarter notes. They're half notes. That's why. Half notes. That is miserably late. So I'll do it. Negative 100 milliseconds. Delay compensation. Reverb too. Na, 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 na. That might be too soon. Okay, here's what I'm learning, folks. I'm learning a lot. I'm doing this like a lot recently, doing these trailer tracks. I'm not where I want to be yet. I'm close. But one of my biggest stumbling blocks recently, and many of the tracks I've written recently, is have a tendency to like copy and paste instead of developing the idea. And what I'm finding is in this style, this trailer style, it's actually some of the most developed music I've ever heard because it's taking the simplest little tiny motif, right? This is 3 notes. That's it, 3 notes. And it's turning it into like it's like this huge thing. So it's actually some of the most developed music ever. So I don't need to be repeating so much. I need to allow this to like breathe and musically go places. which is very exciting. So one of the ways to do that, as you're going to start to find out, is I like to write the track a little bit at the beginning, a little bit at the end, a little bit at the beginning, a little bit at the end, a little in the middle. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to get like the tent poles. Like this is what it feels like when it's big. This is what it sounds like when it's small. And I just keep editing back and forth until it starts to feel like one thing. Different moments of the same piece of music. So right now in this moment, I don't know what to do at the beginning. So unashamedly, I will move to the end just to kind of feel this out more. And these are just little sketch moments, not like sketchy, but just literal sketches. And I'll just kind of like walk through what the heck I'm thinking structure-wise. So if this Act 1 is all about the piano, the violin doing, like it's literally solo instrument versus solo instrument versus solo instrument. We'll do some pads and stuff to like give it some structure, to give it some weightiness. Like I could totally hear a synth in the background. That needs some serious filtering. I actually really like that synth. I like the pop sound. Like I love synths behind orchestral. Probably my favorite sound is that hybrid. So cinematic. And it feels like the picture. Here we go. But you hear how those solo elements in that type of atmosphere fit right in, especially if I add something as simple as a synth bass. Ooh. That, like, why is that so emotional? It's 3 notes. But, like, that's all it takes. Something about the minor 5. Man, that could actually really work here. Ooh, I like that even better. let's work it in. Ooh. It's so simple. Yeah, Jordan, you're dead on with that idea. The simpler music is, the more it emotionally connects, especially to a massive audience, which is what these trailers are for. They're for millions of people to watch and to be like emotionally moved to watch the thing, play the thing, whatever. I think we're onto something here, and it's so dang simple, and I feel like it feels too easy, right? But who cares? It works. Like it solves the problem. So let's do this. Like it just feels deceptively too easy, but that's the point. So A minor. I'm not even sure what chord you'd call this. When you do so it's A, C, F, E. It is an A minor over C. I love that. It's so A minor over C, which is a inversion. F. You could just call it E. And let's rinse and repeat. And let's make the dark thing that we all want to hear. Which really makes me... Yeah, that's the time to do it. So I'm going to change the violin to be, just for my sanity. No, A, B. Give me 2 seconds. Important text I need to reply to. Okay. Yeah. I'm so excited about this track. Like, there's so much we can do with this. But first. Yeah, that felt piano is just the best. It's a free felt piano, by the way, from Spitfire Labs. I didn't even do anything to it. I just put, oh yeah, that's not true. I put a EQ on it just to get rid of that super duper low end. And then I put B2 on it, just the default patch, 50% mix. Good to go. It's become like my go-to piano for trailer music because it's just so good. Anyway, did I just delete my work? Yeah, I did. Where'd it go? Snot muffins. Where'd it go? Ugh. The heck? Somehow. Oh, I know what I did. Sorry. Edit, redo. Okay, we did all the redos. All I'm trying to do, guys, is add this. What's up, Paul? I'm just going to leave it on E. There's no reason at all to break what works. It's all about how we present it. How cool is that? That could be cool. Might deal with that. Let's add my favorite thing ever. Sub hit. It just makes everything better in this world. I'll do another one coming up in Act 1. Here comes another one. Yeah, we're definitely making some progress here today. Okay, parent. I think I need to. Well, let's go to the piano. I don't want to overthink it, but I also don't want to oversimplify. So we already have this, right? That's next. Cello can't be next. It's too soon. So instead, he can be there. See, this was my problem earlier. This is what I just got critiqued for by my mentor. He's like, dude, develop your material. Stop adding so much so soon. So this is my attempt to play by that. I have no shortage of ideas, and that's the problem. I tend to put too many new things at once. So here we go with the piano. That's the first thing, right? That should be the first thing. Let's make sure these are all dead on what I want. Because we're about to repeat it 5 million times. So it's about to be, come on. Has to do the lowest octave, right? Yeah. See, even that, right? Talk about simplicity. Already, I jumped the gun by 3 layers because I went too high of an octave. So really, the secret here, I'll just do 2 passes to keep it simple. I've already broken the code. So just too many things happening. So here we go. One idea. Perfect. Gotta build, right? That's it. Like, that's the thing. And then I need to merge those so it's not so terrible. Then we can add cello. We don't even need to do the extra octave. It's like, it's already good to go. Boom, boom, ba, da, 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 da. Stop trying to be smart. Just write the dang music. See how much more effective that is? It's so simple. That almost works just by itself. accept. So, dang it. See, I'm getting so mad at myself. I really shouldn't. I'm glad I discovered this. So, simple. Da, da, da. So simple. No, I'm going to hold back, guys. I promise. That is my challenge today. I have to hold back. I cannot go complex. I have to be simple. Instead of just a single note. That's what I should do. See, the power of simplicity is every note you choose now has incredible consequences. If you're just notey to be notey, nothing has any weight. But like our brains expect this. But then all of a sudden you change it. What's the title of the track? Soar. We're trying to go up. So that literally lives it out. So let me do another pass of that. Whew. I'm getting inspired. This is great. And then what I'll do is I add some like layers on top, but let's fix that. Should all be half notes. Great point, Jordan. That's really effective. Okay. And you see how freaking powerful one percussion patch will feel once you've right? I just love it. I love the drama of this style of music. It's so it's like the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, which I love. want to try the solo violin with some stereo delay on it to make it more of the signature sound. Every trailer track has to have a signature sound that like makes it stand apart. It already has like an identity with the short violin, but it could be even more. So play around with it a little bit. Yeah. Like that. Really sounds like space now. Just for fun, kicks and giggles, let's try signature sound. Let's try doing that same idea just in a synth. Hey, thanks for the sub. Welcome to the family. It's like a plucked synth. Yeah, maybe this. Pretty cool. Let's be honest. The sound that is most in vogue right now is actually the Juno. Something about the Juno from the 80s has come back in full swing and is in everything right now, if you haven't noticed. So it's like, if you're going to pick a synth to be a signature sound, do something in that general style. Like that. Like that's very, very on brand. That is so the sound right now. So, without getting carried away, I do want to throw... You can look at my chain order real quick. It's an EQ like I would normally do for just about any synth. B2, which is just the default giant chorused reverb, which I use a lot in trailer music. A stereo delay that we just made, which is just quarter notes right now. To make it bounce around. But I want to put on RC20, my favorite plugin for synths. Particularly for a little bit of noise. I really want the wobble. That's going to really feel good. Let's call it Juno. Are we getting the pops? I don't know. Probably because I have many instances of B2 at the moment. So I should probably like chill. A lot of reverbs and EQs and junk. Just my plugin chain is a little insane right now. So I'm not surprised that it's yelling at me. It's a lot of RAM just for those heavy plugins. Anyway, that's kind of cool with the violin too. It's a good spot for that. It's faster. We'll double some strings. I'm not convinced the solo violin is the way to go. A healthy amount of repetition is needed. But I want to continue to develop instead of like ending my phrases early for no real reason. Is the loading bad for you guys? Hey, my internet's great. Such a good sound. Take a breath. Perfect for starting it. Here we go. Could always be YouTube. Put it past YouTube. Streams are always up in the air with quality and all that. They could totally be me. Double the bass thing in the piano. So effective. Oh, I like that change to the G sharp. Is it G sharp or G? Cool. Oh, that's so... Oh, okay. I just had like an epiphany. So one of the ways that I can grow this track is through the harmony becoming more tense as we go. So not only am I adding motion, I'm adding intensity. So let's do a quick recap. Hopefully this is a nice teaching moment. So the whole time so far, remember the beginning? So that done here. It's low, right? Right? And then Act 2 comes in, and now we're going a little bit higher. See that G natural? And then Act 3 finally comes in. It's going to be then the G sharp. So that B adds another level of tension because it's diminished chord. Then back to the home 4, 5, which we feel safe with. Same thing, 1, 2, 4. Now the sharp. That's like the kicker. Cool. Awesome. Happy with how that developed. This is a wonderful place to introduce strings and to introduce short strings and brass. Let me get this all cleaned up real quick. What's going on here? It's also working out really great with my timing of moments. I'm glad I moved those markers out to start with. All right, let's get some strings in there to like really fill this moment out. This is like really where the chuggy strings come into play. What's nice is I've already essentially composed the whole piece of music. Now I'm just filling it out. With whatever, inversions like feel right. But okay, I have to hold back. I don't need to go all ham just yet. I like how it's so subdued. And like we know something's coming because it's like this big rise. That's the coolest part of the suspense of it all. So now I gotta figure out how to be a little bit more interesting. I think that this Juno line could actually just be an octave lower and be fine. What do you think? Yeah, I don't think it needs to be so high yet. We haven't done much yet. We're only 1 minute in. It's so effective. It just works. Just, like, don't break it, you know? I feel like this is such a good lesson for me. Because if you think about the masters, right? Like, we all like to quote John Williams, for example. Like, he has famously said many times in many different ways that the simplicity of his ideas, man, he spends so much time erasing what he does. Like anybody, he gets all the stuff, all the junk out, and then he strips it back to be as simple as possible, as singable as possible. So if we're doing that for 2 rounds, like this is entering Hans Zimmer territory for sure. Hans Zimmer basically writes soundtracks that are trailers. Like, it's the trailer music to it, the finest. Instead of a 3-minute trailer track, it's like a 45-minute epic, 2-hour musical experience, Yes, counterpoint is helpful, but you gotta be very tasteful. And I do think that the violas perhaps might get a good moment here, because right now we have the low strings. Or sorry, the cello. Just like one basic melody like that could hover. Octaves, maybe. Might be too much. It's so effective. Crazy. It just blows my mind how something so freaking simple can just work. And it's effortless, and that's kind of the point. That's going to really shine, because it's not so much about the individual voice being super interesting. It's like how you layer things on top of each other. So far, I like that. So really, when the strings come in, that's a good moment for horns. Just like there needs to be just like an explosion to your face. Let me do that again. I like that a lot. Oh, and it's going to really hit hard because all of a sudden we're expecting, let me recap, right? We're expecting, welcome back, Sarah. We're expecting right? But instead we're going to do the two. And that's how you continue to build the tension. It's like unresolved tension. So let's input that part because that's really like the shining jewel of this moment. I like that. Back and forth. And this is like Act 3, so. So if this whole idea is ascending, right, then the inversions should rise. Like literally, it's just keep. Just needs to keep rising, rising, rising. Oh, it feels like twice the speed it should be. Not convinced that's the right speed, but let's just kind of play with it because we're going from this. It's worth doing the halftime thing. Totally worth it. So let me erase these real quick. Some of them. There. So I just need to spread these out double time. I feel way better at that pace. Otherwise, we just feel too quick. It's gonna take a sec, but that's worth it. Like this. It's 2 bars per chord instead of 1 bar. And it also just fills out the track so nicely. All right. There we are. Let's do a little redo there because that was super, super sketchy, but that is the idea. Thoughts on changing tempo or key for trailer production music in general? I think it's okay to change tempo one time in a trailer track. And it should only be maybe the intro slow, and everything else, like Act 1 and beyond, is like a true tempo. Maybe Act 2 is a true fast tempo, but slow tempos don't work in this style. Unless you double it, which I tried to do, and it just wasn't effective, because eventually I basically went from an 82 tempo to a 164. I'd rather just do 164 for everything. It feels more organic that way, like an actual rise throughout the whole thing. I might just call this track Rise. I like it. Okay. I really need to just put it in. Here. So I can do 2 passes. I'm going to do a slow, speaking of tempo change. So 164, so I don't lose that number, 164 BPM. I'm temporarily going to make it like 100, just so I can count, play these things in. Let me get all these inversions right, hopefully the first time. Let's do our best. Da, 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 da. That was bad. Not terrible, but that is the idea. Oh, okay. That's a little tricky. So I messed up my chords up here just fine. Just gotta clean up quick. I put everything a little too soon. So bum 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 ba. Cut this F chord too short. There it is. Okay. Damage 2. I think it is an updated version of Damage, but maybe I'm wrong. It seems that way. It's much more organized and new sounds, so I still probably will use Damage 1. I don't know. To be determined. So I did this. And then we're going to go. And then I'll do it the next inversion. fun to play. I'm gonna nail these inversions. I'm not getting them wrong. Although I don't know if I do an inversion here. Yeah, I mean suspended. I think I just do. As much fun as that is, just double that. Cool. Now I can actually move on with my life, and it's gonna start to sound really cool. Ready for this? Time for all the fun stuff to happen. Ready? Tell you what, let's take a very quick coffee break. Don't go anywhere. 1 minute. Bye. Hey friends, welcome back to the live composing show here at Video Game Music Alliance. It's been a fun day so far. I can't believe it's been 2 hours. And funny enough, I haven't even touched the 2 libraries that I'm trying to use in this track today. It hasn't been time for them just yet. But today we're featuring Heavyocity, Forzo, which is a brass ensemble, modern ensemble for brass, and then Damage 2. We'll get to them shortly, I'm sure. So let's jump back into the track. We were left off with this ostinato string line. Let's actually pop the tempo back to 164. Let's see what it sounds like quick. Yeah. Cool. I like that a lot. I'm going to take all the velocities and just bump them up a lot because it just needs to be even more intense. Cool. I like that. Now what we need on top of that maybe even a higher octave. Oh, I love that. It just soars on top. Heh. All the puns intended. This last piece can just... I think it needs to be an E suspended to an E over G sharp. It just works better, and it allows me to do this fun idea I had before. I don't remember what the notes were, but it was like... like all right, cool. There it is. Let's get this guy sorted out. Yeah. Cool. Let's get that third voice in there. Fourth voice, really. I like to go string crazy on the third act. Figure this out. So we have down here so violas, seconds. I should start here and then move my way up. That depth. Cool. Get rid of that top voice just to make sure I'm playing that well. Let's go. as much fun as it would be to do low, short strings, doesn't work unless they're like solo. Let me jump to Act 3, which is bar 84 here. Yeah, sounds cool. But it doesn't really work in the overall muddiness. So instead, now I can always use synth basses. Bum, 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 bum. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. I guess take a quick break and then come back just like even bigger somehow. Or just keep going. Doesn't really have to stop. Or it could be a longer track. Sometimes these tracks need to be 4 minutes long, and then you just give more options for an editor to chop, which is also valid. It doesn't have to be exactly 3 minutes. Just options. Oh, I can't wait to plug this in. So now this is my favorite part because we get to just go ham with this stuff. So the first things first, the most important line here is actually this mid strings, this viola. It's kind of two viola lines at the same time. I want to take that. We're going to pop that into a synth. Have some go-to Zebra synths I like to use. So mid synth sounds like this. Yeah. It's really crunchy. So with a synth like this, you have to be very, very particular about your lengths. Make sure everything is uniform. Otherwise, you have like the random note here and there that sounds too long. So I'm doing 16th notes with 16th rest in between all of them. Let's get some of these others in here. Next layer we need is the high strings short. They need to double up here in the synth. Yeah, love that. That's a Juno. Sounds great. Honestly, this Juno ARP should probably... That should be the one that doubles the high string, which is this guy. Pop him into the Juno. Same pitch. Yeah. It's like an alarm. That's like the backbone. And then now we just fill it out like crazy to be this humongous thing. So let's start with, we got to build it from the ground up. You can't just assume things. So we already have this cool melody. Where's my horn? start with choir, actually, because it's the most... Trying to be so selective of the notes. Sorry for the pops. I hope it's not cracking on your end. I don't know what else to do with my processing. It doesn't do that except when I'm streaming, which really stinks. Maybe what I can do is just disable any of the plugins for things I'm not actively using at the moment. That might help a lot. I just have so many plugins on at the moment. Okay, that might help a little bit. Okay, anyway. Last try. Here we go. Trying to keep my voices the voices of my voices very spread out to give the most depth possible. These are all just quarter notes. Let's review the voicing here. I'm also trying to keep some space for like horn. And Forzo, once we get to it in a second. No. Ha! Sounds like Final Fantasy. Cool. Not using these other choir libraries at the moment, so let me just unload them. Something about the way I stream like overloads, having so much going on. So if that's like the pinnacle, then I have to match it, and that's what I like about now. I get to throw all this stuff on here. So Forzo is going to really do best probably with Brahms. So let's just call it what it is. So Brahms. So I'm going to go back to that full ensemble patch, which is inside the traditional. We'll do that one right down there. for this one, what happens? That doesn't seem to make a difference. Oh. There's the volume I was looking for. Here we go. That's just one sound. And I like that it fades out instead of just staying. So what we'll do is... Percussion's going to make a massive difference too. Dun, 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 dun. Damage 2. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. I mean, there's more intensity we can go from there because this is still kind of quarter notey, but the you can't make the impact I want with just one library, but but that's the pulse. This triplets really help to like add even more propulsion, which I guess are quarter note triplets at this point. I missed some notes, so I was whacking those keys pretty hard. What a cool sound. It's just like one single patch, too. It's the Armageddon Ensemble, damage 2. And that alone will make the impact for damage, but I need to add some more things. So let me drag damage all the way down here to my other percussion library so we can kind of see what's going on. Let's play some more in, because this can go way higher energy than it currently is. HZ percussion, I don't think has the impact I want. It's better for softer moments. So this is just a few action strikes. I made this patch. Just call it SM Trailer Perk, and it's just a few action strikes patches put together, which is taiko drums, toms, and some other ensemble EQ'd to my liking and volume to my liking. So now it's just one patch, which is cool. Add some thud in the bottom. Yummy. Same things. Let's deselect these guys. So we'll make everything eighth notes, and then we'll do the inverse selection, and we'll do quarter note triplets. Boom. Now everything's quantized. Let me go back to here. Get rid of any of the missed notes. I like to play them in when I can. It's not exactly the same velocities, and it kind of adds more ramps. So even here, I need to be a little bit more rampy. Okay, here. Yuck, Micah. I hate hearing that. But yes, safe travels indeed. So here is where we need to start getting into like some gongs. This needs to be massive. So let's there's something about a gong that adds a lot of overtones to the mix. Let me check this out for a second. There's a good one. Just adds so much depth. It's so like, oh, so powerful. Unlimited power. All right. I haven't done horns or anything. So I feel like the horn needs its own B2, just like be in outer space. It's such a central instrument to this. There it is. So epic. I can't wait to hear this without the pops. It's the nature of streaming. Unfortunately, working on it. It might just be an audio interface thing or CPU something with streaming. Just causes it to just overload. Now we have to be even more delay compensated. Guys, we've only just begun with the layering. I don't even have a lot of stuff going on yet. That's the power of layering, is like, this is why I started so freaking small, so that when we get to this moment, it just, blows you into outer space. That's the point. That's choir and horns. That's the only melody happening right now. And it feels like that. Let me supplement this with piano, because that was one of the earliest instruments. That's another way to really give some depth, especially a felt piano, because it already has a ton of overtones down there. Here we go. so powerful. I love it. I'll probably hate it tomorrow, but I like it now. Do you guys ever feel that way? When you're in the middle of writing something, you're like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing I've ever written in my life. And you hear the next day and you're like, I'm the worst composer that's ever lived. No joke. I feel that way every time I write a piece of music. I love it when I'm writing it. And then the next day, why did I choose this career? I'm worthless. But to me, it's about the fun of making the thing. I want to follow the horn, so that's going to sound so cool on top of that. I feel like I don't want to get too ahead of myself here, but first of all, let me make sure that those are all quantized before I forget about it. Before I go on some rabbit trail. I wish I had like 3 more hours to work on this with you guys. I just don't. I have about 30 more minutes. I'm going to do my absolute best, and maybe this warrants another stream. I don't know. You guys seem to like this. I freaking love writing this stuff. It's so inspiring to me. But what I'm feeling is to have a very, very short pause. And just like somehow ramp it up even further. More so in the pace than anything. Now that we've like, I'm not even done layering, but we need some kind of like exclamation point at the end in Act 4. And it needs to be. So we've done the 5 chord. Like it needs to be just like an epic 5. It is way too long 5, so to speak. 5 chord. Let me sketch it. And everything needs to be higher inversion than it already is. We have more room up there. That's why I didn't go as high as the strings could possibly go. Where's my strings? Because remember, I was like way down here. Which is like mid-range violins. And the second half. Now the final. I'm going to have to use this guy. So earlier when I was doing the chord thing, this, let me copy these. Give me a sec. Just more of that admin work. It's the organizational side I don't love. But let me pop my markers, my playhead to 102 down here. That way it just kind of starts there as my new section. What am I trying to say? I want to speed up the pulse. That's like another way to create intensity. So literally double time. That's what I was trying to do earlier. I was trying to do it too soon in the arrangement. And I'm not going to finish this track today. There's no way, but that's okay. I always do better work on the day 2 anyway. So maybe I'll invite you guys in for that. But tomorrow, schedule-wise, is the Zelda party, so I'm going to make a note here. This is the 5 chord. I'm going to say, hang on to 5 chord as long as humanly possible. Like I'm okay with that note being just ridiculously long. Like hold on it for like 8 bars for all I care. And then big epic drop, and an outro, an ending, something like that. Zelda party, yeah. Zelda party, yeah. So this will be fun right here. Oh, it's gonna be twice as fast. I'm wondering if I shouldn't do the arpeggio. But I should go like. Like just pulses. Let's get a metronome. Yeah. Hope this doesn't fall flat. Worth a shot. Yeah, tomorrow's at 12, normal stream time. This experiment might just be awful. I don't know. Starting to feel like it's a bad idea. Feels weird going that fast, pulse-wise, but I just want to try it. So we come out of this thing. Hold on, it's forever. Boom. Right, and then the one chord. I like to do 2 octaves of basses. I like to do a synth bass with a slight EQ on it, so it's not too bright. And I like to do an octave below that with distortion. It matches with the brass so well, and it just adds so much depth to that low end. Let's get that queued up. I think I might agree with you, Matt, there on Majora's Mask being one of the greatest things of history. We'll play with that. So this, I don't think I'm going to do all triplets, but we'll see. Triplets. All right. Down here, let's do some synthity bassity. So overkill on the triplet department. Let's start with triplets here. Let's do these. Cool. That might work. This might be good to do. Eighth note, like this. So, eighth note, 16th, ding, ding, or eighth note done. Quarter, dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Quarter, eighth, 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 eighth. Same amount of notes. Shum bum ba ba da ba da. Like that. That'll be cool. It's the opposite of triplet. A duplet. Back to whatever the heck we started the track with. Yeah. Probably this. That would actually be lovely. This thing. That's a perfect outro. End it somewhere. Okay. Something like that. All right, let's get back to the show, yeah? Let's how to get that structure out of my head. Now we can actually do a little bit more in the layering department. The triplet department, yeah. This might be really cool. Back here. Oh my gosh, I love that. That adds such texture. It's just a stray light lead from the library called Stray Light. It adds this. I don't know what to call it. I'm going to put a B2 on it, even though my computer's about to blow up. You know, I might actually put a Valhalla Shimmer instead to add the extra octave. Yeah. Oh, that's so effective. Cool. Cool, I love it. Let's put it right there. What a trailery sound. Here we go. One more. Wow, what a... Just leaning into this whole simplicity thing. It's a unique sound that just it like fills the space, you know? Really, I need to get into the upper side. I meant to do this earlier. Act 2, I want to use the same motif, but 1 octave higher. So good. Woo! Yes, sir. I'm really happy with that. Cool, cool, cool. Again, I'll hate it tomorrow, but today I love it. It's so freaking simple. It's the lesson of the day. Simple always wins. Because it becomes an earworm. It's so simple. Like, now we're expecting that. And then when the simple melody comes in below it, which was once a cello, now it's this horn, an octave higher, we've come to expect it. And now, all of a sudden, it's gone, and it's been replaced with a choir and the French horns and strings, and it's like this. It just keeps getting more intense. There's something else I was going to do. Come on, brain. Oh, I sang it, but I didn't put it in. I really want, during this break, like that. Like that. It just like comes out of nowhere. That way the gong becomes the downbeat. I want to be careful that these... Can you see that? There you go. I want to make sure these have a nice crescendo. Like this. Yeah. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Okay, does anyone know how to fix this? This keeps happening in Cubase. I keep hitting some stupid key. It's causing it to turn into this mode of view mode. I don't know how to fix it. It keeps happening. some new key command that's unique to this new Cubase version. No one told me about it, and it just keeps happening. I don't know what it's called, but it's like this thing. Don't like it. Go away. And now I can't see my... It's like this version of the MIDI roll instead of this. Not a fan. It's very confusing. So any help would be appreciated. Where's Andrew when I need him? Andrew's like the Cubase wizard around here. Anyway, hey, it went back. Sort of. It went back. I don't know why. See? It fixed itself. Just need to know why. All right, cool. So that horn really takes the cake with the melody. And of course, choir, because it just comes out of flipping nowhere. I think this is the best use of Tina Guo cello I've ever used. I haven't given up on this violin, though. I think it has merit. If I can find a way to really keep it simple. This is going to save me some seconds on my clock here. I want to get rid of all of this. This is a really cool Cubase function. I don't know if other DAWs have this, but you can go to delete. I'm sorry, you can go to range, delete time. It just like merges everything. Super cool. So now I don't have to bother with all the nonsense. Could use a cool melody. Might elicit some vocals on this one. But for now, maybe might be cool just to do a solo horn. What do you guys think? Where should I get that from? Solo horn. There's some places. Let me try first here. Might go to Tom Hulkenberg brass. Let's do French horn, solo horn. There it is. Let's see if we give it the same treatment as the other guy down here. The horns with the B2 on them. All right, I copied the settings. Here. Oh, it's so good. And it like feels like a sunrise, or it feels like this picture, like the planets just coming through. I like that a lot. And it'll allow me to copy the settings of, what am I trying to say? The cello that came before. That gibberish. Oh. It has to be something like that that like walks up a scale to make it worthwhile repeating so many times. So kind of leave that as a purple note. Just come back. Very organic. Yeah, I just use Latin nonsense randomly. The truth is, it's just so buried in the mix that no one ever cares. I really love that horn because it just kind of sneaks up. Now, I do want to make sure that I'm a little bit more sensitive to the mod wheel because it's a solo instrument. So things like this, I really can't just leave to chance. I have to like let it dynamically do something interesting here with like a little crescendo in the mod wheel. Let's jump to that moment. How we doing, Mr. Mr. Brass Man himself, Casey. Does that sound realistic? I hope so. That's the goal. Very particular on the lengths of these for breaths. Oh, this is what's so... I'm like, why is this so off? So this just needs some breaths. Breath. These are way off. Jeez. These need to be half notes, I guess. Awful. Ah! Let me just do it like this. That's what I forgot. I forgot to put these little pauses. This is where Mod Wheel saves the day. This makes it so much more lifelike. All right, here's in context. Oh, I really do. I wish I had 3 more hours to do this with you guys today, but alas, this is my life. There's always a time limit. That's okay. Hope you guys have had fun today. It's the same problem. Ooh, I like that one. It's come out of nowhere. I'll make it a WAV file so you can see it. Line it up perfectly. Thank you, Value Music. I will do that right now. Lifesaver, thank you. I just didn't know what it was called. All right, so it's called Editors, Edit in Place. Never heard of such nonsense before. So edit. Editors, Edit in Place. Edit something. And it's not there. Where would it be? Editors. Okay, Edit in Place. Gross, get out of my life. I see it now. Thank you. Thank you so much. My gosh. Save the day. You get 5 points. Nobody knows what points are for, but you get 5 of them. I'm hoping to do a review on Ferrum soon. I want to show this off to you guys. This is just the free version. I'd love to grab the real one. The full version. This is one of the go-to libraries for percussion for trailers. It's just like the sound. This sounds so good with the big organic drums underneath it. Like this. All right, cut those these real quick. I don't want to stop the stream, but I have to. Here's the percussion section. All right, guys, I hate ending the stream right now because it just feels so unfinished, but that's okay. Let's go and play through what we have so far. Obviously, it's just a work in progress, but I hope that you guys will consider, if you're interested, first and foremost, thank you to Heavyocity for sponsoring this stream today. Sponsoring meaning they kindly shared some NFR copies of Forzo and Damage 2 in exchange for doing a review like this and kind of showing it off. And you should also know that I only do that for products that I feel like are a very good fit for the style of music I'm writing and I want to use in my music. And I feel like I've used them to great effect today. I want to add more Forzo as the track gets bigger. I mean, I did the Brahms thing, but I feel like there's some other moments we might want to utilize some of the cool brass synthy textures, effects kind of stuff as we go along to help build more tension. And of course, Damage 2 was used in all of that, all those big drums. So I really love that Armageddon ensemble. So go check them out. Links in the description below. If you are a pro member of Video Game Music Alliance, you get crazy discounts on many, many companies out there. But Heavyocity is one of our top partners who has offered a really cool discount specifically for our members. So go check that out inside of our Mighty Networks page there. And if anyone that's not on the wait list yet or not inside our pro group, you can come join the wait list right here. Boom. VideoGameMusicAlliance.com. We have tons of guides and resources there if you are someone who's looking to start making a living as a video game composer. We talk all about it all day, every day. We love it so much. There's so many great ways to make an income and to make a living for your family. And I've been doing it for a while, and I really love talking about it, and so do the guys there. The guys and gals. We're not just guys. We have some gals there, too. Yeah, hope you guys are blessed today. Go have a lovely day. And remember, tomorrow, same time, 12 p.m. Eastern, we have the Zelda listening party right here on YouTube Live. And we're going to be featuring, I think, 7, maybe 8 of our members who participated in the composing challenge. They did their own scores. And some of them did multiple scores we're going to review. It'll be super fun. So I hope you come join us. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. So thanks, guys. I hate leaving, but I just have to for the sake of time and schedule. But I'll see you again tomorrow, and then maybe we can pick this up next week. I'm going to keep writing these until they're done. I'm working on several. So, yeah, we'll just continue the conversation there. So, ciao. Take care. Let's play what we have so far. This is Soar version 1, work in progress. Enjoy. you.